What it do, baby?
Yeah, you already know.
Okay, y'all, I hope you all are doing well, especially during this holiday season when, you know, everybody's shopping and bebopping and doing what they want out here in these streets during these times. And I hope you're wearing your mask too. All right, so I'm going to come to you guys with some current trending topics. And I'm also going to come to you guys with some topics that I'm a little bit behind on. But guess what? Better late than never coming at all. So let's go ahead and get into it. The Wendy Williams biopic trailer just dropped a couple days ago. And guess what? I'm here for the mess. I want to hear about her radio career and her show and her husband and outside baby and divorce and all of that. I'm here for it. Now, I will tell you right now that I have a love-hate relationship with Wendy Williams. I do. Sometimes I love her commentary and what she says, and at other times I hate it. Okay, I'd be like, sis, what did you just say? Are you serious? So, you know, I watch her off and on because I remember when I used to watch her religiously. Okay, but now it's just like, you know, I may catch her every now and then, but I have been following what's been happening with her husband and all that stuff like that. I ain't gonna lie. So, you know, if she's into other people's mess, I'm into her mess as well. Now, the thing is with Wendy Williams in this movie, the thing that I don't like is that she has her hands in it. So that means that she controls what's in the movie and what's not in the movie. And I don't think that's fair. I mean, I'm gonna still watch it, but I don't think it's fair. You know, I remember when she did the Aaliyah movie years ago. If y'all remember that, that was an absolute train wreck. I mean, the acting was bad. The depiction of Aaliyah was all wrong. Social media was in a frenzy and off its hinges, talking about all the bad things that were going on in that movie. It was a train wreck, y'all. And so I'm like, why can't Wendy Williams' movie get this treatment? Get the Aaliyah movie treatment? You know? Why can't somebody else do Wendy Williams' movie? That would be juicy to hear, you know, to not hear, but see that movie from somebody else's perspective. Oh, Wendy Williams wouldn't have no control of a lot of things. Because we know, girl, we know. So, anyways, the biopic is coming out January 30th, 2020. So, I will be watching. Y'all, I just want to insert this in the commentary here. I just got news that Wendy Williams' mother, Shirley Williams, just passed away. This is very sad and unfortunate, y'all. It's something about the mother-daughter relationship that is so special. And, you know, I've always remembered Wendy Williams bringing her mother onto the show. And she, you know, was so short and cute and just loved her daughter for what she was doing. And this is devastating. So rest in peace to Miss Shirley Williams. And I'm praying for Wendy Williams and her family. So Larsa Pippens and Malik Beasley were spotted out, you know, holding hands. And I want to say this like last month, but it just surfaced now or whatever. And so like Malik Beasley just signed a $6 million contract with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And he ain't even let the ink dry. And Larsa Pippens is up under his nose pulling a Evelyn Lozada, if you know what I mean. So Malik Beasley is being young, dumb, and rich, hanging with Larsa Pippens, who was starting it and bopping it in these streets. This man got married back in March of this year. And, you know, he separated from his wife at some point, and he didn't even let the separation be a separation too long. And now he's out with Larsa Pippens doing whatever they're doing. And so Larsa Pippens has been showing her hand lately in terms of, you know, being disloyal to the Kardashians. You know, you can't mess up with the Kardashians. They don't play fair. And so, you know, I don't want to be stuck too much on ageism, but I will say that, you know, there are people that are just like, okay, she's too old to be doing this. And then there are other people that's like, you know, she living her best life. You know, to me, Larsa Pippens is stuck in the mindset of rapper, actor, athlete. That's all she knows. She doesn't know Fortune 500 company men or CEOs. She can't get down with that. This is what she knows. And, you know, once upon a time, she was NBA wife royalty. Okay, she was married to the Scottie Pippen. So, you know, she came from that. And now she's no longer that. So now she's living the fast life on another scale. But you know, Larsa Pippens and Malik Beasley are not going to be together very long. So he'll probably be back with his wife. I don't know. Y'all know how it goes. Anyway, Akademiks is leaving Everyday Struggle. And he's blaming it on Chrissy Teigen and Freddie Gibbs in some sense. Akademiks, you have other streams of income, baby. You'll be fine. You will definitely be fine. That show declined after Joe Budden left because, you know, he occupied the original seat that Wayno sits in. And, you know, Joe Budden, to me is 70% logic, 30% ignorant. But, you know, I like listening to his podcast whenever I have the attention span and the time. Because, you know, his podcast be running for like 2 to 3 hours. You know, I can't do it, baby. After about an hour and a half, I'll be ready to tap out. But Akademiks, I need you to just get over it, honey. You'll be fine. That show is probably going to end after a while. So move on. The True Kitchen and Cocktails conversation is kind of still being discussed. I said early on in my previous video that I still stand behind this man saying, hey guys, no twerking in my restaurant. And I believe the spirit of Salt Bae came out of that man. And that's why he said what he said. But, you know, I became a little bit culturally torn for a moment, you know, after watching videos from other YouTubers, right? And they were saying that, you know, there was some twerking music that was being played. And, you know, when we hear twerking music, we gonna twerk, no matter where we at. But Throw That in a Circle was played, and Body Yaddy Yaddy was played on top of some other songs. And, you know, those songs make our bodies move. We have the desire to move. Just like when you hear Juvenile back that thing up, tell me you not gonna dance to that song in the club. Because I know whether I'm in the club or about to leave the club and I hear that song, I'm back on the dance floor, or I am on the dance floor. Okay? Shaking it fast, but I gotta watch myself. Okay? So I was like, dang, you know how we are as a people when we hear songs like that, but at the same time, we do have to monitor our behavior in public and read the room at the same time. But it's just a battle back and forth between what was right and what was wrong. So I just wanted to put that out there. All right, moving on. So Warner Brothers is going to be moving their movies to HBO Max as well. So you're going to have whatever movies that premiere in the theater is going to be on HBO Max as well. So people can watch it at home. And I think this is a good move. You know, this is another adaptation to the new normal that's taking place. And this is going to be happening in 2021. And shouts out to HBO Max. You know, they're doing their thing. They have a lot of good shows and documentaries. You know, they have the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air 30-year reunion that just came on. I think Nicki Minaj is supposed to be coming out with something. You know, I was able to watch the Mac Millions documentary. That documentary was so good, y'all. I'm telling y'all, I'm into like crime stories and stories about scams and stuff like that. Like, I ate up every bit of that documentary. There's something else that I want to check out that's called The Undoing. I think that's what it's called. Everybody's saying that's really good, so I want to see it. So shout out to Warner Brothers and HBO for, you know, connecting and doing their thing. Speaking of Nicki Minaj, the victim who was impacted by Kenneth Petty back in 1994 is speaking out. And Daytime Tea Time has been in connections with the victim for about a year and a half. And so, you know, they've done interviews and all that stuff like that. So the interviews with Daytime Tea Time is out now, and then also another like commentary video from the victim is out, and I'm going to put all the information in the description. I do not stand for people that harm others and think that they're justified in what they're doing, and they try to cover it up with bribery and lies. Yeah, I know Kenneth Petty has had to register as an offender. Nicki Minaj has lied and said that Kenneth Petty and the victim were boyfriend and girlfriend, and that basically this was just all a misconception, when in all actuality it is not. I think it's very strange and very telling when Nicki Minaj has a brother who caused harm on somebody else, and you know, that's her brother, so I guess she's supposed to support him, but then she's supporting another person who caused harm on somebody else who feels justified in what they did and feel like the victim does not need to speak out at all. That is wrong. I find that to be very wrong. And I know Nicki Minaj is the fave of many people, but we really have to call a thing, you know? So, anyways, moving on. Jaguar, Wright, and Storm Monroe are beefing. And Storm Monroe is a YouTuber that's up and coming. He was under the tutelage of Tasha K, and somehow they fell out. And he also had an issue with Wright, and so Jaguar Wright called into some show, I don't know, and she said, hey, I have some information or whatever on Storm Monroe. He's gay, you know, I want to give it to Wright. How can I do it? What can I do? And so Jaguar Wright is starting mess, and she's been starting mess for the past couple months. If you do not know already, she's been on an industry exposure tour that I just did not understand why she was doing it. You know, it's like, this woman is so talented, and who would have ever thought that this woman who is talented, like, she would resurface in this way with all this information, which we don't even know if it's totally true. And so she's had to move around and go from place to place because she's receiving death threats. And so she made that choice to do that. But my thing is Jaguar Wright is not a loyal person. If she can put other people on blast, then she can definitely try to put Storm Monroe on blast. And see, Storm Monroe interviewed Jaguar Wright a couple weeks ago, and there was a really good interview. Storm Monroe, you know, he's neutral and stays on the surface when he does his interviews. So I enjoy listening to him. But see, Jaguar Wright is the type of person that will find an opportunity. She will smile in your face, and she will hug you, and I'm saying figuratively, to find a spot in your back that she can stab you in. That exact spot. She doesn't care. Again, y'all saw what she was doing for months on end. Putting P. Diddy and J-Lo and Summer Walker and all these other artists on blast, and she felt justified. She just didn't care. So, I'll put that live stream that Storm Monroe did, discussing Jaguar Wright in the description as well. So moving on. Tiana Taylor. She said that she's retiring from the music industry. And, you know, Tiana Taylor does not get the exposure that she's supposed to. You know, there are artists that do not put out good content, and their music is horrible, and they get all the shine in the world. Okay, that goes to show, you know, how people see the quality of music these days. Okay, because, you know, as generations go on, they'll be like, man, music ain't the way it used to be. No, music really ain't the way it used to be, y'all. This whole mumble rapper culture, where we have people that are rapping and their rapping is incoherent, we have a problem when you can barely understand what people are saying. But it's good music to people. Now, come on now. But, you know, Tiana Taylor was saying that, you know, she has given 110% for her record label to only then reciprocate only 10% of what she's doing. That's very much unfair. And I remember when Kanye West was, you know, trying to support her career, but he wasn't giving her full support. And see, my thing is like, how can Kanye West support and help another artist when he needs help and support himself? We're not going to deny or knock Kanye West for what he's done in the music industry as an artist. He's an amazing artist. I like Kanye West. I just know that Kanye West has been dealing with his mental health issues, and it hasn't helped Tiana Taylor in any way, y'all. It hasn't, and we know that. But I hope that Tiana Taylor is able to, like, regroup, reset, and find someone to help facilitate her music career, because she does not deserve to table her talent and just go on. Or maybe her saying that she's retiring is a warning shot. Like, y'all, I'm getting out of here. I'm done. So we're going to see how that goes. But, oh, you know what? I just thought about something. There's a rapper named Sci-Hi the Prince, right? And he did a freestyle a couple years ago called Elephant in the Room. And on that track, he talked about how Tiana Taylor wouldn't give it up. Like, she wouldn't do the nasty with him. And he put her on blast for that. So misogynistic. So horrible. And on top of the fact that Tiana Taylor has had to deal with the fact that she's being overlooked in the industry, you got people like Sci-Hi the Prince who's talking about she's not giving it up. So that makes her an unworthy woman. Horrible, y'all. This is what women have to deal with in the music industry. I can talk about that all day, but I'm going to move on. Summer Walker. Now, y'all know Summer Walker has been on the internets. And she has been, you know, putting London on the track on blast and talking about men and talking about her pregnancy. And let me tell you something. When it comes to Summer Walker, she has a lot going on. She said that she wasn't pregnant. some weeks ago, and then she, posted a picture like, oh, here I am, I'm with child. We should have known Summer Walker was pregnant when she was at Erykah Badu's house, because, Erykah Badu delivers babies. Now, when I see Summer Walker going off on the internet or just talking about anything, I turn my head. I keep it moving on my timeline. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, I could really go into detail about her being pregnant by London on the Track. I don't want to judge her, but I don't want to read her too hard and too bad either. So when it comes to her, I just turn my head. So Casanova was wanted by the feds like last week, and they sent out a tweet. Y'all. That's what kind of times we living in, where the feds sent out a tweet saying, hey, somebody is wanted for their arrest. So Casanova ended up being in custody. He was arrested for racketeering and conspiracy to distribute controlled substances. And so, y'all, the school to prison pipeline and the creative prison pipeline is a real thing, okay? I know that's kind of deep, but if you understood Casanova's past, you'd understand his present, which is dictating his future. Okay, a lot of our black and brown boys are subject to go to prison, and so if you work with the youth or in the school system or with social services of some sort, like, please continue to work with the youth, or if you don't, like, start helping the youth if you can, to stop them from going to prison, because we want them to have their freedom. We want, generational curses to stop. We want them to be on the right track, so we won't have, a bunch of criminals out here, because, statistically, that's what it is. You have a lot of black and brown boys that go to prison, but if we go back a couple decades, we know what's up. Better yet, hundreds of years. It's a whole nother story. Let me stay on track. But Casanova, I'm praying that he gets his stuff together, okay? He's on probation. He had a job before he started rapping, and he started, with his rap career or whatever. He had to have a job because, he was on probation, or is on probation. And so, and also G Herbo. He got arrested for fraud of some sort, He's a really good guy. I like him. I like what he's doing for Chicago. I think it's absolutely amazing. I like his little relationship that he has going on. I think, what girl is he with? Tiana? I think that's her name. And so, I'm just praying for both of them, actually. Okay. Next, there's going to be an all-women's senior communications team for the next administration. I'm super hyped. I like that. However, in particular, Symone Sanders, I'm proud of her. I'm happy for her. She needed a place in this administration. She really does. She deserves a field of flowers. She was working with Bernie Sanders, and she really showed up and showed out for him. Of course, he dropped out of the race, but she needed a place somehow, some way, in the forefront of politics. And so she is going to be the chief spokesperson for the vice president-elect right now, Kamala Harris. So I'm glad that, she's in there. Okay. This is a very poised woman, very knowledgeable, very respectable, and she has an amazing personality, and I like her. So well wishes to her and all those women that are on that senior communications team. Okay. So Rihanna and A$AP Rocky are said to have been dating, and I want to do a separate video on them because I want to say some things about Rihanna. I love Rihanna. Joyner Lucas did an interview with The Breakfast Club, and I'm probably going to do a video on him as well. Joyner Lucas is an underrated rapper. He's not a mumble rapper. And like I was saying earlier, there are artists that, don't get the shine because their music is good, and that doesn't make any sense. To say that. I don't understand. But I'm going to do a separate video on him. He's such a humble guy, man. We need more people like him in the industry. Lastly, I've been watching a lot of Janet Jackson and her old performances. I love Janet Jackson. Like, I've been listening to her forever, and she has set the tone for hundreds of artists in the industry. I love watching her performances. Like, she is soft and sensual. She has a great personality, and when she's in tour mode, I like the fact that, like, she has her body in shape, and she is not playing games. So, one of my favorite albums from Janet Jackson is the Janet album, self-entitled. That's one of my favorite albums. You know, I will pump Throb all day. That's my favorite song, Throb, right there. And so, yes, I just wanted to let y'all know. I just love Janet Jackson. But guys, leave me your thoughts below on everything that I'm actually interested in. There's been a lot that's been going on. So, all right, you guys, take care.